Hello, everybody. Gbenga Olatunji. We want to look at the organizational culture and putting in context how culture and ethics in the business settings are related, because it is important. Having gone through extensive topic about ethics and morality, we need to put everything together in context. So we'll be looking at the 6 elements of organizational culture and how they are woven together to become an organizational web of culture. That is what we'll be looking at today, and we will go into the levels too of culture. So putting culture into context as regards ethics, we'll be looking at routines, we'll be looking at the rituals, we'll be looking at the stories and myths, symbols. We'll be looking at powers and power structure, organizational structure. We'll be looking at control system within an organization. Basically, it is important for us, as we are putting everything in context. Every organization is responsible to so many stakeholders. We're talking about employee, customer. We're talking about the community in which they are basically operating from. We'll be talking about the general public, the society, and the like, and a number of other organizations and agencies of government and the like that they are responsible to. And the best that a community, a country can get from an organization, and whether an organization lives to become a socially responsible organization, CSR, or not, depend on their cultural and ethical worldview. So their ethics shapes their culture, just like culture has a long way into to affect their morality, their worldview, of what is wrong and what is right. So we are going to pick the items one by one, and we are going to digest it all. So when we're talking about culture, what are we really talking about? When we're talking about culture generally, let's leave organization out of it now. Basically, when we are talking about culture, we are talking about a people having a common belief, common attitude, norm, common values, common behavioral pattern, and they speak common language. So that is culture. When we are talking about culture, we are talking about people, or a particular people. Now we can talk about a particular people in form of a particular organization's employees, having and that have shared common beliefs, philosophy, outlook to life, norms, value, behavioral pattern. Consciously and unconsciously, it becomes a culture in that organization. So this is what culture means, and culture influences our morality, that is our moral value, what we believe is right, what we believe is wrong. And based on this worldview is to the extent we can become socially responsible as organization, to our workers, to government, to customers, generally to stakeholders, shareholders, and general public. Just like they used to say, we cannot give what we do not have. So the best of culture, the best of ethics will produce the best of organization that is socially responsible. And otherwise also will be the case. So the 6 elements that are woven together, let us digest them one after the other according to Johnson and Scholes. These are proponents that work together about the cultural web within organizations. Routine, like they used to say, routine. When we go into routine, they say we become religious. And many times, religion is part of every culture too. They speak common language, common norms, common value, common virtues. So we are talking about routine, what employees are expected to do on daily basis, the way things are done here. Rituals, this is how we do things here. This is how we do things here. Rituals. So how we do things consciously and unconsciously becomes part of us in an organization, and it becomes a little web that we find ourselves in, consciously and unconsciously. But on the part of the employer, on the part of people that directly deal with corporate governance of that organization, it is a deliberate and intentional attempt. So routines must be in place. We do this file move from here to here, this person must consent to it, this person must approve it in writing, this mail must be sent so hour of the day, and this person must do this. Routine processes in place is part of organizational cultural work. 2, we talk about our stories as organization. And when we are talking about our stories, it starts from why are we in existence? And I used to tell management class students that when we are talking about our story, why are we in existence, especially the best person or the best people that could answer it are actually the people that form the organization, the founders, the founders. So don't forget, I said that webs are deliberate, they are intentional, especially on the part of the founders, on the part of the governors of the organization. They are deliberate, even though employees may begin to work in it without knowing it. It's not intentional, but somehow they get themselves caught in the web. So our stories, why are we in existence? What are the myths? So the mindset, the belief of the owners, the founders, their yeses, their nos has a lot to do with the cultural formation of a particular organization. What they believe in, whether they say body language, what they do not believe in, directly or by implication, suggestive. These are part of our stories, our experience, history of the organization. Who had worked here? When have they worked here? Why do they leave us? Those are stories. And many times, stories may become distorted. Stories may become forgotten, and it is important that we guide jealously as organizations and as people climbing the cultural corporate cultural ladder, that we should be conscious of how we keep the story of the organization, because it's actually important to the organization. The photos, the videos, the files, all this keep memory rather of the organization's existence and history. Where are we coming from? Why are we here? Where are we going? But if we cannot tell our story right, we cannot tell our story correctly, we fall into myths. Myths are beliefs that are foundless. They are not based on substance. They are not scientific. They are not proven. We find ourselves caught in all those. If we do not guide our genuine story, we will be caught in the web of myths. And whether a real story or myths, they become passed on to other generations of workers, and at the end of the day, they become part of the organizational culture. Another thing that we'll talk about when we're talking about organizational web is we must talk about the web of symbol. Is another component within the web of culture of an organization. So symbols, basically, we are very used to it when we are talking about symbol. We are very used to symbols as employees and employers within organization.